I may be trying to show love and show care and show appreciation to these people, but a lot of the time they couldn't accept the love that was being given to them simply because they thought that it wasn't real, it wasn't authentic, or I'm playing games with them. My message behind everything that I do is to serve as much people as possible.
Yes.
And I truly believe that when you have a mindset of service, you have a heart of gratitude. When you have a passion and a purpose you're chasing after, the person that is meant to help you fulfill your passion, your purpose will come into you. Hopefully to grow, to change, to make the relationship better together. If you're not about that life, don't get into a relationship.
Welcome back to Seeking Success Podcast, the #1 virtual podcast in the world. Today, we have a very special guest, Timothty Spokes. He's a motivational speaker who's providing comfort to the broken hearts. Timothty, thank you so much for coming on, man. Let's start off. Give us a brief intro. Who's Timothty?
Honestly, Timothty is me. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's me. And in all honesty, bro, what I do online is genuinely to help other people understand their self-worth, understand that they're special and that they're needed in this world, and to help them understand that they're valuable just the way they are, right? And so that's what I do online, and it kind of changed into a whole TikTok thing where I start talking about relationship advice, and I post stuff on Instagram too, and TikTok kind of blew up because of that, because I started just posting advice, real advice for people, practical advice for people. And that's what I always strive to do, to give practical advice to people, because I think that's what people need, So,
That's pretty dope, because we saw on your TikTok, bro, you're posting 3-4 times a day. You're crushing on the content, bro, which is nuts. That's crazy.
Nah, I appreciate that.
So what really got you into the space of the relationship therapy stuff, man? Because that's the content that's we've seen a lot of. What really got you in that space? Was there a broken heart Timothty somewhere out there? Or
Let us know, man. What's the story?
Broke your heart, man.
Hi, I'll be 100% real with you. Not gonna lie to you. There was a broken heart Timothty in the beginning of this before I started it. Okay, and what happened was during high school, I go through a lot of these different relationships. I don't even count them as relationships, but as he's flirting with this girl or being with this girl, whatever.
Yeah.
And I got to this point where I was in this bad relationship, this toxic relationship. I'm over it now, but I was in a toxic relationship, and I was I got to really learn how to cope with dealing with this person, because me and relationships are not working out for me. It's not working out, and I thought to myself, I was is it me? Am I the issue? Am I the problem? Or
guys are never.
I was am I the problem? And then I kind of came to the when the relationships ended, right? I had one in high school and I had one in university that they both didn't really go that well. I realized that the issue was that I was trying to love somebody who didn't know how to heal themselves from their past trauma, right? So the issue was I may be trying to show love and show care and show appreciation to these people, but a lot of the time they couldn't accept the love that was being given to them simply because they thought that it wasn't real, it wasn't authentic, or I'm playing games with them. But what I'm trying to do is make you feel loved and appreciated. And I started to go down that road because online, or just in life now, people just have that same mentality, especially online. I hear a bunch of toxic things online every day about men are this, women are this, focus on yourself, kings, all these things. And I'm that's cool, but where's the healthy side of this? Where's the people who are happy in relationships? It's crazy to me that when you go online, you see a picture or a video of an old couple. Everybody's oh, this is so cute, goals, what's their secret, and all these different things. And I'm why is this not normalized? Why is this such a toxic environment? So I was you know what? Let me start making videos. And it's funny because I've always grown up just making videos. I made music before. I made music videos before. I did a lot of things. And it was funny when I started making TikToks 2 years ago, I was just doing these TikToks. And then one day I decided, I'm gonna post a video about a woman, you should love yourself, because a lot of these men out here are just trying to use you and all these different things. And that video hit 63,000 views. And I was oh, that's crazy. Maybe I should talk about relationships. Maybe this is what I'm called to do. And I started doing that. So, and now it took me to where I'm at today. So that's where I'm at.
So, okay, wait, I have a couple things there, Timothty. So when you're talking about pouring into someone and them not being able to accept it, Are you talking about mainly like abandonment issues and like that type of stuff when they don't really understand how to accept your love?
Yeah, so exactly. And I feel like that's one form of it. Because what I realize is this in relationships is that everybody has their own baggage. Everybody has their own past trauma. Everybody has their own different family issues and different family dynamics. And when it comes to relationships, you have to, when you try to be with somebody, you have to understand all those things. It's not just them. Like you have to understand what makes them them. What type of, how do they view love? You may have come from a family where you have a mother and a father, healthy relationship. They're in love. You're like, oh, this is what relationships are supposed to look like because I
Yeah.
grew up this. But then you have somebody who has just lived with just their mother their whole life and their father has never been in the picture. Then it's like, what type of it? Not, I don't want to say issues, but what type of emotional stability are they lacking? Because it's like their father wasn't in the picture, so getting love from a man now, it's like I don't know how to accept this. Like I don't think I don't can do this for me. I feel like men are gonna leave because my dad left, and it's like these are things that people don't talk about, but it's deep rooted inside of them, and you're not gonna hear it unless you go to therapy or someone tells you about yourself. But a lot of times people deal with these problems, or not. I don't say problems, but they deal with these things, and they never let it out until they get into a relationship, and it's like, oh, why do you act this way? Why are you so overprotective? Or why are you so insecure about me not texting you or not calling you? Or I haven't seen you for a week. Why are you stressing? Like stuff like that. It comes from a deep root that people don't want to talk about. So that's why I wanted to open up the conversation and make it a healthy conversation for people to talk about.
No, I really like that, man. And we'll go deeper into like that specific aspect of it. But I also want to ask you because everyone, like, we've all had like Umar's married. He married his high school sweetheart. So, round of applause to Umar. Good job, man. Woo. But I think for most people, that's just not true, right? And like you said, a lot of people go through toxic relationships or they have bad experiences. Do you mind sharing what some of your bad experiences were? Because it sounds like you did go through a toxic relationship. So what was that like?
Yeah. So all love to the person if they ever listen to this, but like straight up, it's like so straight up what it was. I was in high school, and I kid you not, it was when I say it was. Okay, this is why I say it was toxic. It's because every day, I kid you, every day would be on the phone from when I get home from school. That's 3:15 until the next morning, 8 a.m. to go to school. Then I'll see her at school, right? And if I don't hang out with her at lunch, I do anything. It's like, well, what are you doing? You're cheating on me, right? And imagine when I say 3:15, get to my crib, I'm on the phone, and we're not talking, like she's just there. And if I'd hang up the phone, she would get mad at me for hanging up the phone.
Wow,
brother, I'm saying when I'm sleeping, the phone is on. Bro, like the phone is on. And if I wake up in the night and be like, yo, let me turn this off real quick, she'll call me back. 3 a.m.
Crazy.
She'll be like, yo, why'd you end the call? I'm like, first of all, like what? You're sleeping. You know that end of the call. But
no, that's crazy.
It was crazy to me. And like, I was like, I did it for like a year. For me, I was like, maybe it's going to get better. Maybe this is going to work out for me. And I was dealing with that for a year. And my friends told me, yo, this is toxic, bro. You should move on. My friend Ranbir, I never forget this guy. My friend Ranbir, bro, he said, yo, cut this, bro. It's done. You got to end this. And I was like, no, man, bro. I love her, bro. I love her, bro. He's like, bro, you understand that this is hella toxic. Like, you should on the phone with you 20. But we went on vacation, fam. We went on vacation. And with my boy Ranbir on vacation. And I'm like, yo, I got to call her real quick to go to bed. And he's like, you're on vacation with me. What are you talking about? My mom got mad at me. Ranbir got mad at me. They're like, yo, bro, why are you calling this girl on vacation, bro? You're there. And I got mad at them. That's how you know it was toxic. That I got mad at my own family. I got mad at my own family, saying, oh, you don't understand. You just don't get it. And they're like, I don't think you get it. They're like, I don't think you understand. Get it. Like, you're on vacation and this girl's trying to call you and she's getting mad that you're not picking up the phone. You're on vacation to the point where she texted my friend. On Instagram.
Those are the
what is he doing right now? Like, bro.
No way.
So I dealt with that for like a year and a half, and then I remember I got prom. I remember like before prom, it was like she's under the stairwell or whatever, and then like she was like, "Oh, I gotta meet you at the stairwell," because she was at home sick, right? And I was like, I'm a good boyfriend. I'm like, yo, I can come drop you off soup, whatever, right? And she's like, no, it's fine. And I was like, at the end of the day, she came to school and she was like, oh, I wasn't really at home sick. My ex came over or whatever. We didn't do anything, but he came over. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yes. He came over. Bro, I never forget this day, bro. Sat there under the stairwell and she was like, yeah, my ex came over, but like, we didn't do anything. He just came over. And I was like, so you're at home sick. I'm worried that you're at home sick and your ex came over instead of me bringing you something. He's like, yeah, he's making sure I was okay. But I'm like, I'm your boyfriend though.
What?
Yeah. So,
That's nuts.
So you can see where this energy I have towards relationships comes from, right?
Wow.
So there's that. And then I remember at prom, like she was like dancing on like one of my homeboys, right? At prom. Yeah. This what mind you, I went to prom with her, right? I never. That was the day I broke up with her. I remember that. So I was at prom, right? And she's like, I don't know. You know those guys like they're friends with or whatever, and like, oh, don't worry about him, whatever. They're at prom dancing. Some song comes on. She's dancing on the guy. I see them, right? I walk out, whatever. She comes up. She's like, oh, it's not what it looks like. And I was like, yo, we're done. Like, it's over. Like, it's
I mean, yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm moving on. I'm moving forward. And she's like, no, it's done. She's like, oh, I'm going to harm myself. And I was like, and it's like a teletalk. She's like, I'm going to harm myself because you're going to do it. And I'm just like, we're still done. Like, I'm like, I wish you the best. Like, it's what, like, in the most peaceful way possible. Like she didn't do that. But still, I was like, dang, like, this is how toxic it was. And like, from that moment on, I was like, yo, I don't know if I trust women anymore. I don't know if I can do this, whatever. And then I went through university. I dealt with another girl, and we were cool. We were all good. But the reason why we broke up with the other girl was that I wanted to chase my dreams in terms of like just doing things in the world and being more successful in that way. She was like really restricting towards that. She was like, no, you're going to cheat on me with some other girl and all these different things. Like she was really insecure about these things. And I was like, whoa, I gotta leave too. So then I left that, right? But then it's funny because God blessed me with a girl now. It's about to be 3 years with this girl I'm with right now.
Nice.
And I love her. Like that's I'm married. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna marry her. Like it's one of those.
Nice, right on.
And it's like, but it took me so much time and so much effort to cultivate the relationship that I have now. That's why I wanted to show that on TikTok to people, because I'm like,
yes,
I've been through all these things. I don't want y'all to deal with these things. Deal with it the moment you see the signs, and I can tell you what the signs are, so you can use your practical sense and say, you know what, I'm gonna move on from this instead of going through it. I feel like not everybody has to go through it. Sometimes you just have to listen.
That's facts. We interrupt your program to tell you about the Seeking Success University, the one-stop shop to learn personal development, how to build your credit and get up to 6 figures in credit, and how to monetize your social media presence, all taught under one umbrella with exclusive bonuses and exclusive content. That will be linked in the description below. Definitely check it out. Let's see you in the uni. Well, you know what? There's what do they say? There's two type of people who learn, right? There's some type of person who learns from his own mistake, or type of person who learns from other people's mistakes. And it's always better to be the kind of person who learns from other people's mistakes. But I want to ask you, Timothty, was there any former literature, books, courses that you took to get some more knowledge in this space, or was all came from your own personal knowledge and experience?
So for me, I would say I read a couple books on it. Like I would read like Jay Shetty's books, or like like a monk, or I'd read like some Ed Milet's books, The Power of One More, or I'd read like Michael Todd's Relationship Goals, stuff like that. But I think that really got me deep into like learning about the relationship space is listening to podcasts, because I'm an avid podcast listener. I go hard. I go hard for it. Okay. And like the reason why, because like podcasts will have stuff, people like Matthew Hussey or like Jay Shetty, or like there's certain people that are experts in this field. And it's funny to me. Podcasts, for example, podcasts like this, right? Podcasts will bring on people who are in the space, professionally in the space, who will tell you from their professional advice, right? So it's like, when people say, oh, no, listen to podcast, I'm like, I don't understand why. Because like, for example, I listen to Jay Shetty's podcast, right? I would reference him all the time. I listen to him a lot. And his podcast is on purpose. He interviews the most successful people in the world.
Oh yeah,
like I'm talking like Kevin Hart, anywhere from Kevin Hart to Ellen DeGeneres to like The Rock, like people who have influence, right? Yeah, and have them talk about who they are, how they got to where they are, and what they're dealing with now, and how they can overcome it, and advice they give to the people that want to be like them. And I'm like, that's who I listen to on a daily basis, because the goal is for me to be one of those people one day. My goal is to be a very, I guess, like, known influencer, right? To the point where it's like I'm able to serve millions of people. And that's kind of my message behind everything that I do, is to serve as much people as possible.
Yes.
And I truly believe that when you have a mindset of service, you have a heart of gratitude every time you have an opportunity for something. So that's normally what I try to do. And based on reading the books, listening to podcasts, watching movies, you know what I'm saying? Because low key, believe it or not, people will grow up on like The Notebook or grow up on like Titanic, stuff like that, right? And they'd be like, "Oh, I wish my life was like the movies." You can do that. You can do that. Right? You can be that. I'm the type of guy who show it to my girl's workplace. I did it yesterday. Like I did it 2 days ago, bro. I literally went to my girl's workplace, gave her flowers, like put up randomly. She didn't know how pull up randomly, bro. Randomly with flowers, gave her chocolate and a card. Pulled up, she's working mid shift on the shoulder, and said, "Yo, here you go." And she started tearing up a little, hugging me. He's like, "Oh, well, I didn't know it was gonna happen." Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so cute," right? Something you see in the movies. And I realized that things that you see in movies, specifically when it comes to like goes down to like love and like those guys riding on horses and chariots and stuff, you can literally make that happen. And I promise you, you'll be seen as a different man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I want to push back here for a second, because we do know, like, you know, the typical like Disney love story where the guy's fucking chasing the girl for an eternity. Like, that doesn't work, right? Like, where do you draw the line between like? Because I feel like Hollywood or movies or whatever, they kind of depict this image of, like you said, like the fucking guy that's shirtless riding a horse on the beach. And, you know, like, that's like usually the ending, right? That's the ending when he actually bags the girl and they're like kissing under the stars and whatever. But like that whole process, like, I don't know, man. Me personally, I've never seen a guy chase a girl that doesn't want him and then end up like, you know what I mean? I've never seen that work. So where do you think is like, I guess like, how do you make that balance between what you consume and what you actually take into real life?
So what I would say is, this is what I learned, because like after I went through these breakups and stuff, me and my boy decided to go on a 1 year break from just like dating in general and focus on ourselves. And what I learned was like a whole year, dedicated a whole year. And what I learned was this: when you have a passion and a purpose you're chasing after, the person that's meant to help you fulfill your passion and your purpose will come and change you. Because here's the thing that people don't understand a lot. It's like, if you don't have a purpose, you're just going through life without understanding what if anything has a meaning behind it, right? So, for example, for me, I'm like, okay, I said to myself, my purpose is I want to make TikTok videos, I want to go viral, I want to do this, I want to become an influencer, I want to make influence and real change in my communities, in my life. I want to do these things, and that's my focus. That's still my focus to this day. And the issue is that people just try to find relationships, try to find a girl or whatever, and they're chasing after this girl. But the funny thing is, the girl's not chasing after you because thing is this: if you don't know what you're chasing after in your personal life, why would a girl chase after you?
Facts.
Think of it that way. It's like people want, oh, I want the baddest girl. I want to have this girl. I want this girl. But it's like, she doesn't want you. Think about it. Yeah. Why would she want you if you have nothing to offer to the table? Right. And like, for me personally, I'm not going to like big myself up, but I'm say this most humbly as possible. It's like, for me, like doing TikTok videos, I speak at schools. I wrote a children's book. I have all these different things under my name. Right. So when my girl talks to her friends or family about me, she'd be like, yeah, Mike, he does this going for him. He's doing this. He's doing this. He's doing this.
Yeah. And they're all like, what?
Yeah. They're like, yo, this guy's sick. And then when I come to the workplace to drop off flower, this guy's romantic too. And they're like, yo, this guy's a good guy. Right. Yeah. Compared to people saying like, oh, I'm just working a job. Like, there's nothing wrong with just working a job. Cool. But what is your purpose? What are you doing to make yourself better every day? And that's when I took that year off. It's like I learned how to focus on me, right? To the point where it's like, to this day, I still go to the gym, 6:30 a.m., go to the gym, get my workout in, you know, I still work a regular, I work for the city of Brampton also, but I still do other things on the side that give me more income also. It's like I have passive income coming in. I have my book here, motivational speaking here. I do different things. So it's like, I'm a man of value. And I feel like the problem with a lot of men is that they think they have value because they have money, but that doesn't give you value. What gives you value is when you have a purpose. When you have a purpose, people are driven towards purpose-driven people because they know that they stand for more in life. You have more to give out of life. You have more to give to that person because now they're not expecting anything from you because they know that you have a purpose inside of them. And people are driven to people like that. Why? Simply because a lot of people don't have purpose. A lot of people lack it. A lot of people don't have a plan for their life. So when they see someone who has a plan for their life and doesn't care if anybody else wants to be there or not, they're going to want to be with you. Right. So you can't, so that's why I never tell people to chase women or chase men, to chase anybody, because if you're not chasing your goal, what are you really chasing?
Yes. And okay, wait, I want to, two things there. Okay. So first off is I've noticed a lot of people who have a lot of money, like rich people, they usually do everything successful in business and themselves and whatever. But when it comes to women, they don't understand. It's like almost the same principles, and they just don't do it. Which is super funny to see because a lot of the rich guys, they have like the nicest cars and they still get no girls. Like, bro, anyways. Another thing is, bro, I want to ask you a selfish question. So you said you took a year off, like you didn't talk to a single female?
Yeah, no. So the thing is, I took a year off of dating. So obviously there's females that came my way. It's like, well, you should date me. Bro, I kid you, there was girls that came and they're like, yo, we should date. And I'm like, sorry, I want to bet. Still, I can't date you.
Wait, okay, but like, what was the, okay, so what was like what would you get from this? Like, cause, okay, right now, let me give you some context, right? So I've been, okay, no, actually, no, fuck my history. what do you think you got from this? Cause like, how do you think it went out for you? What were the pros and cons? I'm just curious.
So when I took that year, bro, I literally found my purpose in life. Reason why I say that is because my focus wasn't on trying to get a girlfriend. Okay, so
let me clarify. So you're talking about instead of trying to get a girl, you went from forget trying to get a girl, forget trying to date a girl, like I'm just gonna do my own thing type. Yeah, because and the way I see that is because it's like if you're single, for example, right? It's like, okay, ultimately, you're not always thinking, oh, I'm trying to get a girlfriend. But like when you go out places or you meet people, there's always that thought of like, oh, dang, let me try to holler at this girl. Let me go to my way and try to go meet this person, or I'm trying to cultivate this relationship, get deeper, and all these things, right? Mm-hmm. Or you meet somebody, you're like, oh, let me try to slide in the DMs or whatever, and your focus, like indirectly, is on that. Yes. But when I said I took a year off of chasing females, is what I meant is like I didn't spend time and effort trying to cultivate a relationship. Bro, time out. You didn't slide into a single DM for a whole year? No. So what I mean by this, okay. What I mean by this is what I mean is this. I literally, for example, like females will come. I'll talk to females, obviously, right? Okay, tell. So you did slide into DMs in that year. So okay, I wouldn't say that. I didn't slide into DMs, but I'd meet people. That makes sense. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I'll go to parties. I'll go do stuff like that, right? I wouldn't make an effort. Right. It's like people to you, like if you're at a party, you're chilling, you meet someone, chit chat, whatever. Done. That's what I'm saying. Gotcha. And also what I mean is like I wouldn't make an effort to say, oh, I'm going on a date with this person. I'm trying to take them out to the exhibition or to the museum, or I'm not going on a dinner date. I'm not calling you late at night. I'm not trying, I'm not doing those things. And that's what I mean. Because I feel like when we're in that season of trying to find a partner, you're literally like putting in effort. Like you're texting her, we should meet here, we should go skating or whatever. And you try to put in effort. I didn't put any of that effort in. Like it's like, I'll meet you and you'd be like, oh, like we should hang out. Nah. One of those. Nah, stop. Right, it's like, I'm going here. If you want to come, you can come. If not, like, it is what it is. Like, yeah. That's exactly what it was. Like, I didn't put in the effort to do that. And that's what I learned about my passion and my purpose, because I was chasing that. That was what I'm chasing, right? And it became so strong in me where I was like, if someone came to like
ruin that or take that away from me. I was like, listen, you gotta go. I
Gotta
can't
go.
Yeah.
because it's like you're not a part of the purpose. Like you're just taking me away from it. If I'm gonna go out and go like perform somewhere, they're like, I don't think you should perform. Like I don't want to come out. I'm like, I don't care if you don't want to come out. I'm going. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like I'm not concerned. Right. So I decided to do that. So that's why I encourage a lot of people to do this, to be honest, to take a year. Just like a year's a long time. Not gonna lie to you, it's a long time. But if you're dealing with like a breakup, you're dealing with like a heartbreak or trying to deal with your insecurities or deal with something around those lines, take a year to like focus on that. It's a long time, but I promise you after the year, you can look back and be like, yo, damn, I'm healed. And you'll be better than 99% of the people in relationships because they never take they never take time to figure out their own issues. And
Yo, Umar, bro, what do you think, bro? You think I should take a year, fam?
100%. No, I'm joking. I don't know, bro. But listen, I 100% agree with what Timothy's saying, right? Because even for me personally, I've been with my wife. Well, we've been married for about 2 years, but we've been like dating / together for the past like 7.5, 8 years, which is insane. The longest gap we had might have been like 3 months, right? But I'm very introverted at times, right? And my wife knows that. So there will be times, like weeks in my life, where I'll just be monk mode, where even though we're living with each other, it's almost like I'm just so focused on my work at the time, right? So I think whether you're in a relationship or whether you decide to go on a break, I think it's very important that you do spend time with just yourself to almost reflect and kind of change course. Because Timothy's right. If you're playing the game, the whole cat and mouse game of you're playing fairy tale love, you're always chasing after your girl, you're trying to do things to constantly please her, you could very easily fall back in your own personal goals, right? I've done that many times in my own marriage where it's like literally I'll go like, yo, you know, right now we're starting off the podcast, a lot of stuff to do. Like we can't go out for a couple of days. And then my wife will understand, right? The issue comes is if you don't have, I don't know the nice way to say this, but if you don't have like a pair of balls to just be able to tell your woman that like, hey, like I still love you, everything's good, but like I just got to focus on this thing, whether that's school, work, your passion. I mean, to each their own. What you did, Timothy, is more extreme, going a full year. I don't know if I'd personally be able to do that, but what's it called?
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't
right?
be able to do that, bro.
Yeah. But now I do mess with it. I think as a man, as an individual, you do have to take time to almost like reflect and debrief and like just spend time with just you. And if you always have like, and not just women, but if you always have like your friends around you, your family around you, you'll never get like a chance for you to think through your problems on your own, right? So, yeah.
Yo, let me ask you this. Let's talk about like relationships, right? Like, what do you think are the best, like, just real high level, real quickly? What are some like the best principles to keep a relationship healthy?
Honestly, I would say having time, just like Umar was just saying, having time for yourself. Like, because I think people assume that when you're in a relationship and you guys are like going like 3-4 years, you're deep in love or whatever, and you're living together and stuff like that, it's like you spend all your time and effort with this person. And that's not how it works, because at the end of the day, it's like you have to be your own self. That's why people care, like going to work and leaving home and coming back home to your partner, because it's like you need to have your own life. I respect and love my girlfriend so much for this, because she has her own life, I have my own life, but we come together as a couple. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful that way, because I'm able to do what I need to do. I'm able to go on podcast. I'm able to go here. I'm able to travel for work. I can do whatever I need to do. Yeah. And I'm not in the back of my mind like, oh dang, I'm not spending time with her. Like, oh, what's happening? Whatever. I'm not doing that, because she understands that time apart. And a lot of issues, like for example, for COVID, during COVID, a lot of relationships ended simply because they couldn't spend time with their partner.
It was like the purge, bro. Like I swear, holy shit.
No,
I remember that, bro. It was crazy. Like every day, a new couple drop it. I'm like, damn.
It's either one of the two. It's either they got closer and they had a kid, or it's just they broke up. It's just one of the two. It's one of the two. But for most people, it's like, I can't handle dealing with this person every single day. I love them, but like they're just annoying now. And it's like, if you don't have that space in a relationship, and that can simply be, oh, tonight I'm gonna go hang out with my boys. Like that can simply be, oh, today I'm gonna hop on the game, I'm gonna play some video games. Like something as simple as that can get the person to be out of their own head and say, oh, you know what? I want to be isolated for a second. That's the number one advice to people. Isolate yourself for, like I said, there's what we're talking about. Be open with your partner. Because here's the thing people understand. Another tip of advice I'll give somebody is be open, bro. Be open. There's no point of you hiding how you feel. Like there's no because wanna why? What is inside of you is gonna come out of you. If you hide what you feel, it will always come out in some way, shape, or form. If you're annoyed with your partner, you're not just gonna be super happy when your partner comes around. You're not. You're gonna be try to hide it, and you're gonna be like cutting vegetables up, all mad, and throwing dishes to the side, and then your partner's gonna be like, "Oh, what's wrong? Nothing." You know what's wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? People always try to hide their emotions, and it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense because you're gonna see it based on your actions. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you literally act a certain way when you're upset, you're gonna be that way when you're upset, regardless. So the best thing I can tell you is open communication. You know, people say communication is the number one tool for relationships.
Oh my god, bro! The worst one. Go ahead.
Oh no! You know, tell me the worst one first. Go for it.
Bro, the worst one is the girls that be talking about communication is key, but don't know how to fucking communicate themselves. Like, oh my god.
No, I feel you. And then you know what it is? It's fear. It's insecurity and fear. It's because, like, I deal with it all the time. People DM me all the time. Say, oh, like, I don't feel my boyfriend loves me anymore.
Oh my god.
And stuff like that. And I'm like, did you tell him how you feel? Nah, I can't tell him how I feel. I can't do that. And I'm like, why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know it's scary. I know it is scary. But realistically, if you want to have a healthy relationship and you have a good partner with you, a good partner will understand when your emotions are act up a certain way. I'll tell you this though. If you go to your partner and say, you're doing this, it's making me feel this way, they're gonna feel attacked by you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, you're doing this, and I feel this way, right?
Oh my god.
all the time, right? So people get defensive. People get hella defensive, right? So the number one way I would say to have open and healthy communication is simply to have a conversation. What I mean by have a conversation is don't point the finger and don't say you do this and you're the issue, you're the problem. Say, this is how I feel right now. This is coming from a deep part inside of me. I feel insecure because of this. My past traumas are making me feel this type of way. And your partner might sit down with you, be more empathetic with you, and say, "Oh, dang, like, yo, sorry, I didn't. I don't mean it that way." Most of the time, we're gonna say, "Oh, I don't mean it that way. I didn't mean to do it like that. I didn't mean to make you feel that way." And you be like, "Yeah, I just feel that way, And I don't know, like, can we find a way to fix that? Can we find a way to help that?" And your partner's probably gonna be more open to say, "Yeah, you know what? Let's see. I'll try to stop doing this. I'll try to stop liking girls' pictures on Instagram. I'll try to, And it's like, and then you'll be like, "Oh, okay, all right, thank you." And then you have a conversation. Most people get emotional and be like, "You're so why are you doing this to me? You're cheating on me. Why are you liking that girl's picture on Instagram? Why are you commenting? You know what that makes me feel?" And stuff like that. And then the guy's gonna get all emotional and be like, "Yo, but like you're doing this, or whatever." The girl's gonna be like, "You're doing this, and it's like you have an argument. And that's the problem. So open communication starts with empathy. You gotta go there with peace, tranquility, calmness, and say, "Yo, listen, I feel this way. That's how I feel. I can't stop feeling. I can't just say I'm not gonna feel this way." That's how I feel.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. Dude, I also want to add one thing because for especially for men listening right now, like I struggled with this for years. Where like my wife now, girlfriend at the time, she'd always go like, "We never spend any time together. This was like a reoccurring thing for like my whole life. I'm like, what does she mean? We spend a lot of time together. Like, I spend more time with you than anyone, right? And it was more recently, one of my mentors was like, he told me to read the 5 love languages. He taught me this concept about love tanks and filling your spouse's love tanks, right? And every woman is different, right? Usually the type of woman who's going to say, spend time with me. That's the kind of woman who her primary love language is quality time, right? So I really learned, and like literally in the past 6 months to 8 months, I really learned the emphasis on quality time. And I went from my spouse being like all the time, like, "Oh, we never spend time together, to like, now she's completely fine. Because now I'm making an active effort, even if it's 5 minutes out of my day, to take her for a drive or do something nice for her or just sit down and talk with her. So that, like, for the guys listening, especially, like, you know, you might be thinking like, why is my girl always saying we don't spend time together? But they're all the time. I'm talking on the phone 24 hours a day. Maybe you do less of like the random side tasks with her and you just spend like 15, 20 minutes doing something truly meaningful, whether it's a walk outside, going for a drive, cooking together, watching something together. You will see like a night and day difference. So that's something I personally been using. And like, again, also for all the guys out there, like read the women too, read the 5 love languages. That one was like a phenomenal book to learn your spouse's or your partner's language. Cause imagine how much easier your life would be if like you didn't have to waste time arguing with your partner, right? So take that effort.
110% agree with you. 110%.
So Timothy, we're gonna kind of blaze through these next 3 questions. Real quickly, we want to ask: do you think exes can get back together? I have a very strong opinion about this. I want to get yours.
So like exes, I honestly think it's really subjective. It really depends. Like if she come out here or he come out there like cheat on you bluntly, like just multiple times and stuff, I don't think y'all should. Like, you know, because it's like, in my opinion, I'm like, yo, if someone like bluntly goes out of their way to cheat on you, and it's like, I'm sorry, I did it. Nah, bro. Like, yo, I'm dipping. The reason why I'm doing that is simply because I'm like, yo, it's not worth it anymore. Like if you do it once, you might do it again. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you decide, you know, I'm gonna change, but like it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Next thing I would say is like, is this person like toxic to you? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times it's like, oh, I want to get back with my ex, but were they healthy? Are you getting back because you're lonely? Or are you getting back because like, you want someone to be beside you or someone to talk to? Or did you genuinely have a connection with this person? Right? And for 3, I would say is like, does this person make you better or worse? Because a lot of times it's like, oh, I want to get back together with this person. Okay, that's cool. But like, were you a better person? Were you succeeding? Were you chasing your goals? Were you being successful? Did you get a job? Did you get a house? Like, you know, are you getting better? Because like for a lot of people, it's like, I tell you this, a lot of people get back together with their ex most of the time. It's because they're like that feeling of loneliness or having someone to talk to. Like when I say loneliness, people can be like, oh, I'm not lonely, but like realistically, it's like when you go from talking to someone every single day and then not having to talk to them, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah. We talked about that with Medusha. Remember, Umar? We were talking about like, I don't have an issue being like by myself and being alone, but if I actually feel lonely, because like there's a difference, right? There's some times where you could be with a group of people, but you still feel lonely, or like you could sometimes be completely by yourself and you just feel happy and wholesome just because that's just the way you are. And I also want to talk about like, just real quickly, I think, bro, the issue with getting back with an ex is one person has basically said they don't value that relationship anymore and they want to put it at a lower level. And when you do that, it's hard. Like, you basically lower your standards for that relationship. You basically lower the value of that relationship and you're saying, yeah, I don't want this. And the whole dynamic changes. And then to try and get it back to where it once was, I find that very, very hard to do. Because like, for example, if you only eat the best Wagyu steaks your whole life, and then you go and eat McDonald's, like, you're gonna fucking see a difference, right? Yeah. And vice versa. Like, I think with relationships, it's like, I don't know, man. That's just what I personally think. And like, again, I've tried it before. It fucking clearly didn't work, right? And I'd say even the other issue is, like you said, like when there's cheating involved, or like when you take time off and then there's other people involved, and like it can really get messy very, very quickly. And like, bro, I don't think people really understand. Like, I think especially in our generation. Well, actually, Timothy, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, so you're like our generation too. I more or less. I feel like with our generation, like, bro, people just assume that, yeah, I'm gonna break up and then it's all gonna be okay. Next week I'll get back. Like, they almost assume like, yeah, we're gonna break up to get back together. Like, what the fuck? Like, when was that a thing? Like, who made that up?
Well, that's a problem too, right? That's why, what's it called? Not more, but once you break up with someone once, like an actual breakup, not like you were angry, but like you've been broken up for 2-3 months, you've now opened a new problem in your relationship where like the second something gets hard, you guys are just gonna break up again, right?
Exactly.
Versus if you've never broken up before and you've always been the type of relationship, the kind of couple who fix their problems, that's a much more positive reinforcement versus the couple who every time something goes south, they're just gonna break up. Same thing goes with cheating, right? That's why, again, I don't have personal experience with this, but if someone was to cheat on me, I would never go out back with them again, because whatever caused them to cheat on me the first time, whether it was my fault or the other person's fault, they're just gonna do it again every opportunity they get, right? Now that could be a statement I'm making very without any grounds, but just off my personal knowledge and common sense, I would say, like, whatever triggered the person to cheat the first time, if it happens again, they're gonna do it again. It's the same way we would fumble on a diet, the same way we would like do something that's unethical. Whatever triggers you to do it, if you get that trigger again, it's gonna happen again, right? So that's why.
Umar, the other thing as well is most criminals, they don't usually start off by just fucking murdering people. They start with like little petty crimes, bro, like stealing fruits at a fruit stall or stealing you know what I mean? Like it's never, it's always like progressive. It's that's with everything, with negative things and positive things. Like, even with success or working out, it's always progressive. It's always progressive.
Yeah, for
and bro,
sure.
with relationships, man, like, you can go down that downward spiral that you were talking about, or you can go to the positive, like, okay, today we talk things out. Cool. Next time we'll talk it out, but now we know how to talk things out even better.
Yeah.
So it's a healthier way of doing it, right? But hey, man, it is what it is.
Dude, but also, like, for the listener, right, is you should also learn, when do you cut your losses? Like, when do you realize that this relationship is not going to work? No. Like for real, right? Like, there's clear signs and sometimes there's unclear signs, right? Right now, personally, actually, one of my friends, he's like, I could clearly tell he's in like the real honeymoon phase. He's posting pictures of his girl. He's
it's not me, by the way.
I love her. No, it's not Radies. And it's so funny because, like, he's the kind of guy that would have never posted stuff like this. I'm like, damn, because that honeymoon phase is like super real. And in that time, you let everything slide, right? But once that phase wears off and he sees true colors, like, it's gonna be some shaky grounds, right? So listen to your peers around you. If your best friend who's watched you went through many relationships is telling you, yo, I don't know, looks like a very similar path.
Yes.
I'm doing this for your own good. I'm not trying to fuck you. I'm just telling you, like because I could see, you should probably listen to the people around you, because, like, again, that's also comes to, like, make sure you have decent people around you. But if you have decent people around you and they're telling you because they're seeing the signs, listen to them, man.
True.
And I've seen this so much. I've seen this in myself, you know, like, even like when I was younger and when I was with my partner, and like, there might have been things that were a bit toxic at the time. Thank God we fixed them now. But, like, I remember some of my friends were like, bro, like, you're changing, man. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck you mean I'm changing? Like, you're just jealous you don't have a girl. And I was like being delusional. And then it was slowly, like, over time, I was like, maybe I gotta, you know, chill out a bit. So read the signs and listen to your peers. So, like, most of the times, if you have decent people around you, they want the best for you, right?
It's true.
And, okay, and also I want to touch on one more thing too.
Yeah.
But, like, even what Radies was saying about petty crimes, like the whole criminal thing, right? I remember I was so naive to this too. I used to be like that guy who's liking other girls' pictures. I wouldn't necessarily comment, right? But, like, if you're a guy and your girlfriend's clearly telling you, stop liking these other girls' pictures, just fucking stop. You gain absolutely nothing from it. You literally gain absolutely nothing from it. I've heard this argument so many times. Why is she trying to control me? Like, bro, like, what's wrong with you? Like, do you not see the like, man, you gotta be so dumb. Especially if you're commenting, like, what is your end result, right? Think with the end in mind. Like, if you're liking a girl's picture, you're commenting, this girl's clearly in a bikini. Like, what, are you trying to fuck? Like, of course your girl's upset with you, right? It's like, sometimes, like, the littlest things, bro. Like, it's not about control. I like to look at it like they taught us back in kindergarten, right? Like, treat others how you want to be treated. How comfortable would you be with your girl commenting on other guys' pictures and stuff? And then, like, man, if you're okay with that, then maybe you find a new partner, right?
I deal with that all the time, bro. All the time. Every other comment, every other, like, DM, yo, my boyfriend is liking these girls' pictures, and I don't like it. How do I tell him? And
Bro,
it's crazy. It's crazy. I remember, bro, I was in that position, and I used to think, I'm like, why is my girlfriend trying to control me, right? But now when I look back at it now as an adult, I'm like, wow, I'm like, was I that dumb? like, just stop. You gain nothing from it. Like,
they're not trying to get you. They don't want you. They don't want you.
God. Horrible.
so let me ask you this, Timothy, because there's this new wave of delusional men out here now who think they can have multiple partners, and in reality, they can't even handle one. What do you think about the whole concept of like people having multiple partners?
You just need one. Like, that's it. That's why you just need the right one. I can tell you right now, when you find the right one and you have the right one, you are good. You only need multiple partners to solve multiple insecurities. That's all it is. Like, that's all it is. It's like, you like this girl because, you know, she's a big, okay, cool. Let me get that girl. Oh, you like this girl because she's smart. Okay, cool. I like this girl. You like this girl because she works out. Okay, cool. Just find a girl that has everything. And you know what's funny? Not every girl's going to have everything.
Yes, bro. So, Timothy, I'm so glad you said that, bro, because I forgot what the whole concept is called, but when you have multiple partners in the past, what you then start to do in the future is you're trying to find one girl who has the best qualities of all these multiple girls, and you try and build like this like super freaking perfect girl that just doesn't exist. And like that's the whole issue, and that's why people say the more partners you have in the past, the less likely you are to pair bond with someone, and the more likely you are to get divorced in the future. So like people talk about, oh, like who cares about a high body count, da da da. For men and women, it does actually make a difference. So crazy.
I like the number one thing I like, just what we were talking about before. Learn about yourself. That's what I keep telling people, bro. I tell you that I go back to this whole year thing. I'm telling you that changed a lot. Me focusing focused on that year, bro. I kid you not. Learned so much about myself. What I mean by learning about myself is like I learned my triggers. I learned what annoys me. I learned what I like. I learned what I don't like. Like that's what I mean by learn by yourself and focus on yourself and love yourself, because there are traits that you have that you need to understand. Because if you don't understand them, you can't tell anybody else what to do and how to treat you, because you don't understand yourself. For example, me, I don't like micromanagement. I really don't like when someone's out here telling me, do this, do this, do this. And like I'm trying to do it myself, and someone's like, no, you should do this way. I don't like that. And I know I don't like that. So if my girl tries to micromanage me, for example, I'll tell her, hey, babe, remember, I don't like that. I don't like when you micromanage me or whatever. She doesn't understand. For example, if she ever try to do that, I'll tell you like, hey, yo, I don't like micromanagement. And she'll be like, okay, bad, like I get it. But people don't ever take time to understand themselves and what triggers them and what annoys them. So they take it out on other people as, you don't understand me. You don't get yourself. You don't understand yourself. There's a reason why. And that's what I loved so much about like taking that year and just focusing on myself for like 2-3 years. Is simply because I spent time to understand who I am. And since I know who I am, I know what to look for. People are just looking for things that they think they like, but you have to look for things that you know you need. Because if you don't look for people that you know you need, you're going to end up with people that don't know how to treat you right.
Right.
Why is this person so toxic? Why do you like it? Because you don't know yourself. You don't know yourself.
Oh, for sure.
If you're the person who needs to call every single day or text every single day or all these different things, then you don't know that about yourself, someone's gonna come do that, and you're gonna be like, oh, why are they doing this to me? I don't want stress. And you're just like, you don't know why you're stressed. It's because you didn't take time to understand yourself. So,
dude, you know what's crazy? You said that. Okay, so I'm pretty big on meditation. I've been meditating consistently for the past 90 days. Oh, it's been almost 3-4 months now, right? And very recently, one of my mentors told me, he's like, you know what? Now, don't meditate, but like do almost like the opposite of meditation. And when you remember, there's like it's called the armchair meditation, where you just sit and you think and you reflect. So instead of not having thoughts, you just focus on your thoughts. So 5-10 minutes, you're sitting down, thinking about where am I today? What do I want next? And just thinking and trying to answer and solve through these different problems you have, right? Because here's something very important. Most people, they only realize their triggers when they get very upset. So if you're arguing with a spouse, a parent, a friend, that's when you realize what triggers you, right? And in that heat of the moment, you're not in conflict resolution mode. You're upset, right? Versus if you could, in a calm state, start thinking about your triggers and reflecting over yourself, then and only then will you be able to make those course corrections, right?
True.
So it's so important to like go back and reflect within yourself to be a better, be a more optimal person, right?
It's true. 100%.
100%.
Love that.
All right. Okay, so the next one we have to ask you, man, is and let's actually jump into the rapid fire round. So all these questions are going to be basically, we're going to give you 60 seconds to answer the tops. And the first one on the rapid fire round is how to get over
the short fire round, actually.
short fire round.
Okay.
So, Timothy, how do you get over an ex?
How do you get over an ex? Focus on yourself. Dedicate either 6 months, 3 months, whatever, however long you need. But
Yeah.
I'll probably say focus like 6 months on just focusing on yourself and your goals and your passion and what you need to work on in yourself.
Yes.
Actually, I have a quick follow-up question. So some guys say that if you're a guy and you want to get over a girl, just go run through a bunch of girls. Do you think that works or no?
Nah. Because
Do you think it's a temporary fix?
Yeah, not even because like because like here's the thing, you're only trying to fill a void. That's what you're trying to do, and you can never fill a void with another person.
Yes,
you really can't. So it's like you got to fill a void with yourself. You got to find something that you're passionate about, that you're good at, that what makes you happy, and then you can use that as a skill and as a, I guess, like a force to change the world. But if you don't use that properly. And you try to say, I'm going to go get a bunch of girls to do all these things, it's not going to help you because you're going to end up just with a bunch of different girls that are in your life now that you probably don't want.
More problems, bro, more headaches.
More headaches, more issues because you didn't want to spend time with yourself. Like
that. Okay, cool. Yo, so Timothy, we didn't really talk too much about the business side, about the whole relationship advice or relationship coach, but if you don't mind sharing, like, how much money does this stuff make?
So in all honesty, when I speak at schools, that's when you make the most money, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like online making videos and stuff, like you get like $25, $30, whatever, like each video, if you want to. If you get like 1,000 views, 2,000 views, whatever. But in terms of like where the most money is, like speaking, like public speaking.
Do you mind sharing like how much roughly?
So like at schools, I charge anywhere from $800 to $1,000 for speaking. And,
Nice.
and when I speak at schools, I go there for an hour and a half and I just speak at schools. And for me, because I have a children's book, so I read my book to the kids. And I love it because I'm able to do that and inspire the next generation. It's beautiful when kids come up to me and say, oh, you changed my... Like when a grade 4 comes up to you and says, man, I want to be just like you. I'm inspired. I'm going to be great. I'm going to be successful. And I'm like, damn, like, I changed some kids' lives.
That's pretty dope.
That's kind of where the money aspect comes from.
Nice.
Right on. No, that's pretty dope. All right. And then what do you think about getting married and having the government involved?
Like in terms of
legal marriage.
I honestly, I know people do it. Like, do it. You know, like if you feel like this is your partner, this is the one you want to be with forever, do it. Because here's the thing. It's like, I know people say, oh, I don't know. I don't need a solidify it. That's your partner. That's your person. And like,
I don't know. I'm going to disagree with you here, bro. Because like, we see what happened to like, what was it? Fucking, bro, Bezos. What happened to freaking, we've seen all these stories where and again, okay, these are like top level, like let's be real, the average guy isn't fucking Bezos, right? But like, you think you should, I don't know, I feel like I disagree with it, bro, because like, when you get the government involved, man, it's like, suddenly, like, let's just say, God forbid, somehow something happens and you get divorced, you're fucked.
Okay, so let me say this. The only time I would say for you to marry someone is when both of y'all have come to, like, when your relationship, remember earlier we're talking about a relationship that's focused on growing and solving issues and solving problems?
Yeah.
That's the only time I'll tell you to marry somebody. When y'all have a habit of solving problems and issues.
Right.
Like we talked about before, if you have a relationship that's like, we're fighting, I'm done, I'm breaking up and leaving, like that's a terrible habit to have, because if you're doing it while you're in a relationship, you're probably going to do it when you're married. And that's what people don't understand. I'm trying to tell people this all the time. Like, listen, you need to have a relationship that you're both willing to grow, to change, to make the relationship better together. If you're not about that life, don't get into a relationship because it's not going to work out. People always say this all, I'm trying to find a girl, I'm trying to find a husband, whatever. And it's like they do it and they're like, I'm having issues, I'm having problems, I'm going to leave, I'm going to break up. I'm like, clearly, you shouldn't be in a relationship in the first place. You really shouldn't. Because at the end of the day, if you're not willing, because like, I'll tell you this right now. First of all, there's never going to be a perfect relationship. First of all, never. Right? Relationships that are deemed as perfect are the ones that make it work. You can never find a perfect partner. You only can cultivate a perfect relationship when things are about making things work. If you can't make it work, don't get into a relationship. If you're not willing to make it work, don't get into a relationship. If you're not willing to fight through your problems and talk about your issues, don't get into a relationship. If you're not comfortable with having conversations about how you feel and your emotions, don't get married. Like, it's just, people want to have this timeline of like, oh, I need to go get married. I need to do this. I need to do this. But it's like, if you're not healed for that, it's not going to work out. The reason why a lot of these relationships end, these marriages end, is because, like I said, they don't do the self work. They just said, I'm dating this girl for 2 years. Like, you know what? Boom, I'm marrying her. And it's like, you marry them, and now you live with them, and you have these issues of like, oh, why she act like this? Why she talk like this? I don't know. I don't know if she had this nightly routine. Like, she's pretty annoying, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, I can't deal with this person anymore. And then you get into fights and arguments, and then they don't know how to solve their issues. They don't know how to work through things, and then they just break up. A breakup is just a divorce. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
No, that's what I tell people to do all the time.
Bro, and quickly, I want to add to that. I think you said having a perfect relationship, bro. I like to say the only perfect relationship you'll have is a relationship with yourself, because that is the only relationship that you can actually control, that you can actually change and actually do things with. And also, recently I started watching Creed. And there's a scene where Sylvester Stallone, he tells Michael B. Jordan he's like, yo, look into the mirror. That's who you're fighting in the ring. You're not fighting your opponent. You're fighting that guy in the mirror. And he goes, okay, now just shadow box with this guy. And then basically he goes and he does shadow boxing, looking in the mirror. And he says, okay, now since you're fighting yourself, I want you to shadow box, but also every time you throw a jab, every time you throw a hook, I want you to slip, I want you to dodge, I want you to block. So now instead of just shadow boxing, he's like punching, but also trying to dodge the punch that he's throwing in the mirror to himself, right? Which obviously doesn't fucking make sense because the mirror's going to copy you. But the whole premise of it is when you're fighting with someone or whatever, you're realistically, like you said, will work on yourself. You're fighting with yourself. And that's why the perfect relationship is with yourself. Like, it's so simple, but so complex at the same time. I don't know, man. I really like what you're sharing here. And we want to go into the actual rapid fire round now. But before we get into that, Timothy, we want to ask you, do you have any other questions for us? Anything else you want to talk about? Any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
I'll say, question to Umar. What is the number one advice you learned from being married? That's my question.
Ooh, I like this.
What's the number one thing you can say?
Even if they don't.
No. I think the number one advice. Wait, can you ask the question one more time, Timothy?
What is one piece of advice? I say the number one, the highlight, that you would give to someone who's about to get married, who's about to be newly married, that you would say going into marriage?
Okay, honestly, and this advice is going to sound very boring, but if you want to succeed in anything in life, you have to go through a course of learning. And I'd highly emphasize taking courses, whether that's religion or not religion, or reading books, literatures, podcasts, whatever your favorite form is of learning. You need to learn about how to be in a successful marriage, because it's so weird. We want to learn, we'll pay to learn how to run a business. We'll pay to learn how to learn a skill. We'll get a coach. We'll get a personal trainer. Yet a lot of times the only time to get a marriage therapist or marriage counselor is when their marriage starts to fail, right? What if you were only to invest like 20, 30, $100 in some books now and some courses now, right at the start of your marriage, and the success you see down the line? Like I told you guys in the middle of the podcast, is like, I recently started to read these marriage books and wedding books like 2 years into my relationship. I really wish I did at the start. I actually did read 1-2 religious marriage books, and it definitely helped a lot. But now reading just like general literature I think that's the best thing, right? And then if you're asking me a question that's learning based, the next best thing I see is, especially as a man, the man side, is you have to be patient. Because if there's anything we've noticed over the years, is women are definitely more emotional creatures, where men are a bit more on the logical side, in my personal opinion. So if a woman's emotional, that means you have to be patient with her, because a feeling she's having now could pass, right? Versus men, we're a bit more logical in the way we say things and do things, where we could wait to explain ourselves when the woman's in a better place. So patience is another massive thing. Like for my boys out there, like guys, be patient. Take your time to learn these different things. Don't be that one idiot who has to start learning things when everything's starting to fail, right? It's crazy because my friend that gave me the religious marriage book when I got married, like, he actually doesn't have the best marriage. And it's crazy. He actually didn't read the book. He's just like, yo, someone gave me this when I got married. You should read it too. Difference between me and his is I actually read the book. And it definitely helps a lot, right? I also want to say, this is, again, more for, I guess, someone who follows religion, but it doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever. I think having an emphasis of God and religion in your marriage will just make things that one step closer, because now it's not just the marriage is not just between you, me and you, right? The marriage is between me, you, and God above us, right? So for those people who are so afraid of getting cheated on, or their spouse can cheat on them and stuff, right? You have that extra layer of like, now this person's not just being faithful to me, but they're actually being faithful to God, right? Which is super important. But I mean, if you're not religion, that might not be applicable to you. But for the religious people out there, I think putting an emphasis on religion in your marriage is like, definitely helped me out. So yeah,
Fire. Yeah, we gotta get Umar on some like marriage counseling, like.
bro.
Okay, so Timothy, we're gonna move on now to the rapid fire round. So what this is, the actual rapid fire round. What this is we're gonna say a word or a phrase, and we want you to reply back with one word, and it has to be the first word that you think of. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Umar, take it away, bro.
All right. The first word is success.
Time.
Okay. Failure.
Success.
Love.
Peace.
Happiness.
Cultivation.
Ooh.
Friendship.
Short-lived.
Wow.
Wait, Umar, what did you just say?
Friendship.
Okay, wait. Okay, my bad, sorry. Partner.
Wait,
I forgot her really. Yeah, partner.
Best friend.
Ooh.
Roadblock.
It's a roadblock.
Yeah.
Can jump. Oh, no, okay. I'm thinking hurdle, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
Jump over the roadblock. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Money.
Purpose.
Ooh.
Okay. Social media.
Service.
Ooh. Lust.
I would say. You said one word, right?
Yeah.
For lust, I would say an issue.
Ooh.
Because I think a lot of people deal
Okay.
with that, and they don't see it as an issue. So I think it's an issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is polygamy.
Freedom.
Okay. Relationships.
Well, now I'm thinking about it. Everybody's getting deep with these words now. Okay. Relationships. I would say access.
All right. Last one is
It
marriage.
makes sense. I've explained it, but like, okay, last is okay, marriage. I'll say commitment.
Commitment.
Fire.
Ooh. Okay. Yo. So Timothy, we now have our what is that? We need a word. We need a tagline for this too, or maybe like the
I know.
final three, or like I don't know, something. But we have three more questions, a bit more fun questions. So if you had to swap lives with 20. Jesus Christ. Okay, no, let me try it again. If you had to, I'm lucky. I forgot to speak English today. I swear to God. If you had to swap lives with someone for 24 hours, who would you swap lives with?
Jay Shetty.
Ooh, bro. Same. I just want his blue eyes, bro. That fucker has such nice.
I think Jay Shetty.
What a guy.
Like, bro, he is like. There's no way brown men should have eyes like that, bro. Like. Damn.
Crazy.
Okay, but I like that answer.
Crazy.
Umar, I feel like he's gonna have the
Right.
same answer for this one, but take it away.
Yeah. I was going to ask Timothy, who's the most motivating person of all time for you?
Okay, Jay Shetty for one, but I'll say Jay Shetty or like Ed Milet. These are like motivational speakers, but like Jay Shetty, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you read
Like-
Max Out? That book's amazing.
yeah. So I'm saying the Max Out, Power Woman, great guy.
Yeah.
I would say J. Cole, Chance the Rapper.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because
Bro,
they make
low-key, now that you said it, you give off Chance the Rapper vibes with the hat too, bro. Oh shit! I just bagged it.
that's I look up to them. Not gonna lie to you, because of what they do in the community.
Fine.
That's why.
Fine.
Okay, fire. And bro, this is the final question. Let me make sure I don't butcher this one. Let's say everything from the day you were born till now is written in a book. What would the title of that book be called?
The life story.
The life story.
Yeah, because when I first started doing stuff online, my first Instagram was called the underscore life story, and everybody knew me for like the life story. And I decided to post everything on my life. Like I literally, it started from like when I was in grade 6, 7, and like I posted everything from making music to performing in auto, performing here, doing this, doing that, like everything. I had the whole life story. And I said to myself, the last book I'm gonna write when I'm old is the life story. So
oh shit, that's so sick. You already have that like ready to go.
there it goes.
That's pretty dope.
Damn,
That's pretty dope.
that's sick.
Well, fire. Timothy, thank you so much for coming on today, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like this episode was filled with so much like takeaways, especially for like the relationships and in our modern day. I think we need it more than ever. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put all your links in the description below. But did you want to make any plugs before we close this one off?
I would say, honestly, just find love, peace, and happiness inside of you before you dive into any relationship. Because if you don't find those things, you'll never be happy in a relationship. Ever. But you follow me. Honestly, just follow me. Everything's Timothy Spokes. If you type that in, you'll probably find me. It's one of those. It's one of those. So we're good. It's very good.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave everything linked down below for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely link it all down below. Well, that one wraps us up, guys. If you enjoy watching the content like this, please make sure you like this video, subscribe, follow Timothy, and do all the good stuff.
Leave us a rating on Spotify as well, by the way.
Yeah. Fire that up. All right, guys. Until next time, stay seeking success.
Yeah.